Today I'm making some burnt ends using a beef chuck roast. A beef chuck roast is one of my favorite cuts of meat to smoke, and one of my favorite ways to do it is to make some burnt ends out of it. Traditionally, burnt ends come from the brisket, but people have been making burnt ends with all sorts of different cuts. I actually have a video of doing burnt ends out of beef ribs. So there was a comment on the video and they requested burnt ends out of a chuck roast. Today, that's what I'm doing. First thing I gotta do is cut up this chuck roast, so let's get right to it. Now I love using chuck roast because it's got this beautiful marbling you can see in here. You can smoke this just like this. Treat it like a brisket. You'll have some delicious meat. You can also make pulled beef out of this. The options are endless, but today we're doing burnt ends. Now a lot of times the butcher will wrap this up because it tends to fall apart. There's natural seams in here that just want to pull apart, and that's why it's tied up. So go ahead and just pull those apart where you can. Cut this here. So we got two nice pieces here. So now when you get these pieces, just cut them up into some cubes. They're gonna shrink up a good amount, so make sure you make them pretty big. But if you want them smaller, do them however you like. For this piece, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this right down the middle. Just like that. And check out that marbling. These chuck roasts have beautiful marbling. Very underrated cut of meat. Go ahead and cut some of these burnt ends. I like them on the bigger side. All right, that looks pretty good. So this is a good sized burnt end. Like I said, it's gonna shrink up a lot. Now that we got our beef cut up, let's get our seasoning for this. I'm going super simple. 1 part salt, 2 parts black pepper, and a half a part garlic powder. That's it. Mix that up. There's a lot of pepper in here, so we can go heavy on the seasoning. So let's get our burnt ends and get them seasoned. So I'm gonna take some of this seasoning, dump it in this tray, and then throw a few of these in here. Then I'll just sprinkle a little more on top. I'm just gonna go ahead and get all the seasoning mixed up onto these burnt ends. Get them coated nicely. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I'll get the other batches done, and then we'll get these on a tray. This is the best way to do it. You can just open your smoker, throw these on, and then you're ready to go. You don't have to sit there with your smoker open and lose all that heat. That's why I prefer using a tray. All right, these look pretty good. All right, I got the smoker up to 250. Let's get these burnt ends on. As usual, I'm smoking with oak. Get these in. I'm gonna let these burnt ends go for about an hour before I check on them. They might need some spritzing if they're getting a little dry. The nice thing about cutting it up into chunks like that is that it cooks a little faster. If you cook the whole chuck roast and then cut it up and make burnt ends, it's gonna take a little bit longer. Plus, I don't know about you, I love bark. So cutting them up into these pieces, you're gonna get bark all over. Once they start getting a nice bark, I'm gonna pull them off and I'm gonna put them in some beef tallow and let them slow cook in that beef tallow for a while. This is gonna make them get super tender. I'm telling you, this is an awesome way to do burnt ends, but that's later. I'll see you in about an hour when I check on these burnt ends. These burnt ends have been on for about an hour and a half and they look pretty good. Get a nice color, nice crust. Just gonna check them for tenderness. Not too bad. So for temp, we got 153. These are looking pretty good. So I think I'm gonna let these go for another half an hour. Then I'm gonna pull them off, put them into our beef tallow. So we're 2.5 hours in on these burnt ends and they look fantastic. They got awesome bark, exactly what we're looking for. They smell great too. Here I have my beef tallow melted down. Let's get these burnt end pieces in. All right, I just want to try and get them as covered as I can, but these look good. This is going to make these things so tender. These are going to be delicious. All right, so I'm just going to cover these up and let them go a little longer. The burnt ends are in the beef tallow hot tub, and they are cooking away. So I cranked the smoker back. I'm going to try and run this thing around 200 and 225 degrees. I really want these to cook nice and slow in that beef tallow. While I wait for these to finish up in the tallow, let's make some barbecue sauce. That's going to start off with a little white vinegar. So to that, I'm gonna add some of this Cattleman's Base barbecue sauce. I love using this stuff. It's a super mild barbecue sauce. It's perfect for making your own sauces. We'll do about 50-50 vinegar in this barbecue sauce. Then I wanna go in with some Worcestershire sauce. Then I wanna go in with juice from half a lemon, hold the seeds. Then I'm gonna go with some Lowry seasoned salt. Just a little bit, maybe about half a tablespoon or so. I just really like the flavor of the Lowry seasoned salt. If you haven't tried it, I highly suggest it. So that's it. Let's get this lid on. We'll give it a shake. Take a look at this. Not bad. Smells really nice. So this is a really nice consistency for me. I don't like the barbecue sauce to be too thick when you put it on there. This is going to be a great sauce for these chuck roast burnt ends. But speaking of those burnt ends, I think they're ready. So let me go out. I'll grab them, bring them back, and we'll get some sauce on them. These smell phenomenal. Oh yeah, check that out. That looks good. Let me see if I can grab one of these. Ooh, hot, super tender. These are gonna be so good. Check it out. Look at these things. These are gonna be amazing. Look how tender they are. Yep, just fall apart tender. Ooh, gotta keep that together. So I'm excited about these. Let's get them off and onto the rack so we can get some sauce onto them. We got our first casualty here. I'm telling you, these things are super tender already. Trying to get off as much tallow as I can before before I put them down on this tray. There we go. These look great. Now I'm just going to take some of that barbecue sauce I just made, get some of that on these burnt ends. These are going to be so good. Sauce is going to go great with these. Now I just want to flip these over so I can sauce the back side of these. All right, these look good. I'm going to take these, get them back on the smoker for another 30 or 40 minutes. I'm going to go out there every 10 minutes and put more of this barbecue sauce on. I'm just going to put layer after layer, and these are going to be so good. All right, these burnt ends are done and they're looking phenomenal. They are smelling great and I'm ready to give these a try. Check this out. That is a nice burnt end. Absolutely incredible. Got a beautiful glaze on there now. The crust is ridiculous. Let me cut this thing in half and we'll see how it looks. Ooh, check it out. Beautiful smoke ring on there. Very juicy. And most importantly, look at how tender this is. Just falls apart. This is going to be so good. Let me give it a try. Wow. So good. That's amazing. This is so good. It's super tender. Get a lot of smoke flavor because we went super simple on the seasoning. Got that perfect smoke flavor you want. The barbecue sauce goes great with the super savory beef. And just look at how tender it is. Just falls apart. You can't ask for more. So good. Absolutely delicious. Get yourself a chuck roast. Try this out. Absolutely fantastic. It's a perfect appetizer. The bark is phenomenal and every piece has a delicious bite of bark. Super moist still in the middle. Nice and juicy. I mean, I really can't say much more about these. They're so good. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it the thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I got a new video coming out every week, so you're not going to want to miss them. But thanks again, and get out there, smoke something good.